to let the dollar collapse because our children will be paying 80% taxes all across the board because we can't pay for this.
Well, at a certain point, you can't pay it, and the debt won't be paid. It's how it's liquidated. When you or I, if we go bankrupt, we can liquidate debt by just not paying, going to bankruptcy court. Governments don't do that. What they do is they want inflation. They're working real hard to inflate, because if they can double the money supply and your dollar lose half its value, your real debt is only one half. So they pay it off, with junk money. So that is what they're hoping for, because they know they can't pay the debt. The American people can't pay the debt, but the debt has to be liquidated. Governments liquidate it by inflation. So that's why you can be assured that the inflation is coming. And Bernanke has never hidden from that. He has always said he knows how to inflate like nobody else has, and he is working diligently at this, which means that he is doing an immoral, unconstitutional, bizarre act of destroying the value of the money. People should go to jail for this. If you do it or I do it, that's counterfeiting. But it's the same thing, and they're doing it deliberately, and that's how they'll take care of the debt.
The idea that these militias are creeping up. I mean, on this program, I've asked you before, I think when you were running for president, I said to you, I talked about some of the people that are Ron Paul supporters or claim to be, that are 9/11 truthers, et cetera, et cetera. I think there are dangerous people on the left and the right. Some of them vote for Ron Paul. Some of them voted for Barack Obama. Some of them voted for John McCain. Some of them voted for people I've never even heard of. Some of them don't vote at all. But I fear that there is, some of us have at least been consistent and saying that we're on a road to fascism. We said it under George W. Bush, and we're saying it now under Barack Obama. It's the same problem, just a different party and a different face. How worried are you that the Constitution is viewed as a code word, that we are entering a time when the conditions are growing more in the favor of being able to stomp down any kind of opposition by the parties in Washington?
Oh, I think the worse the economy gets, the more polarized the people become, because wealth dissipates and people get poorer and they get angry and they misdirect their anger, and therefore, there's always a threat of violence. And of course, that is what I've worked so hard to try to avoid, because I consider it an intellectual fight. I believe that if people know why it's in their best interest to defend the Constitution and personal liberty, we can achieve victory on this. But if there's a lot of confusion, then people say these people are scoundrels, and they are, and they think, and they feel desperate. They don't know anything else to do, so they want to resort to violence, and that's where the danger comes from. Inflation wipes out the middle class, leads to political chaos, and then the destruction of the political system. And we've about have done in the economic system, so now we're seeing the early and rising tide of political chaos, and that to me is the dangerous phase. So I don't know how to reverse this other than promoting a better idea to beat their ideas, and their ideas is internationalism, globalism, printing press money, Federal Reserve. Don't give a hoot about the Constitution, and just once again believe in individual freedom and have confidence that freedom works, and that's how you get prosperity. And you don't have to be a bleeding heart thinking that's the only way you can take care of people, because quite frankly that backfires and creates more poor people, not more wealthy people.
Do you do members of Congress and the Senate, are you moved by the amount of mail? When they were sending tea bags to people, did that make a difference? Does it make a difference to have the phone calls come in? Does it make a difference if they would march on Washington and let people see their faces? What makes a difference to these people at this point?
On occasion, it does. I think this whole thing that Congress felt compelled to do something about those salaries was a reflection that if the people rise up, the Congress will react. But unfortunately, that was so superficial and misdirected and missed the whole point, and they should have never had the money in the first place. So that was not the answer. But the answer is, Yes, if enough people rise up and tell their member, look, if you don't do it, we're going to throw you out, and then end up throwing them out. Members, most people in Washington are very politically oriented, and if it's a true resistance by the people, it does some good. Otherwise, I wouldn't be involved in this at all. But the problem is, it takes a long time for the transition, and it gets too risky. And right now, we're facing this crisis. Who knows how it's going to turn out? But we should know soon, because we live in very, very dangerous times, and events are moving rather rapidly.
Do you see more people coming to your side in Washington? Do you see more people that are starting to get it, or is it still just as mindless as it always has been?
Well, I think it's better. It's certainly better outside of Washington. I hope when I go to St. Louis this weekend it'll be better. That's where I meet people that agree with me. But in the past, what I've introduced have been bills that have been looked at, and that'd be nice, but I've been always marginalized. But I have this bill in now just to open the books of the Fed, just to audit the Fed, which is H.R. 1207. I have over 40 co-sponsors on that. That's pretty good for me, and I think the momentum's going to pick up on that, because everybody in Washington now has heard once again from the American people, you guys better get your house in order. You at least ought to have transparency. And when people hear that the Fed is not even required to answer our questions, people become outraged. So I think that is the first step to reforming our monetary system.
Ron Paul, Congressman from Texas. Thank you so much, sir.
Good. Nice to be with you.
You bet. Bye-bye. Congressman, is he still there? Oh, shoot. Are you there, Congressman?
Yeah, I am here.
I just wanted to know, you don't have one of those snake flags, do you?
I do. Oh. Should I put it away?
I would. Well, no, then you're hiding it. Then we know you've got something to hide. Well,
oh, boy, I'm trapped.
We'll send Homeland Security over to your place.
When are you going to hang it up behind you when you're on TV?
I wore you missed on, I think it was Thursday's episode. I wore a T-shirt with it on.
Oh, well, you are getting brave here.
Yeah, you got that right.
All
Thanks
right.
a lot.
Good
You
luck.
bet. Bye-bye.